Captain Lily Winters never expected to make history on what should have been a routine mission to Mars. The small exploration vessel she piloted was testing new engine designs when a flash of light appeared 15 kilometers off her starboard side. At first, she thought it was space debris or an equipment malfunction. Then the light expanded into a shimmering oval twice the size of her ship. "Houston, are you seeing this?" Lily asked, her heart racing as she adjusted her craft's position to maintain distance from the phenomenon. Mission Control responded with only static. Whatever this was, it was blocking her communications. The oval stabilized, and from it emerged a sleek vessel unlike anything humans had ever built. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent material that seemed to bend light around it. Lily held her position, remembering her training for unexpected scenarios, though nothing had prepared her for first contact. A beam of blue light scanned her ship from bow to stern. Lily remained still, both terrified and amazed. The alien vessel then projected what appeared to be a three-dimensional star map in the space between their ships. A small green dot pulsed on one particular star. "They're trying to communicate," Lily whispered to herself, activating her ship's exterior lights in sequence as a basic response. The alien ship repeated its star map projection 3 times before retreating back through the oval, which closed behind it. Communications with Earth immediately returned. "Houston, you're not going to believe what I just saw." 6 months later, the United Nations Space Command Center buzzed with activity. Commander Alan Rogers stared at the massive wall of screens displaying data from deep space monitoring stations. Since Lily's encounter, Earth had been preparing for the visitor's return. "Sir, we've got movement at the edge of the lunar orbit," called out Officer Ben Miller from his station. Rogers watched as not 1 but 12 ships emerged from similar oval portals. These vessels varied in design, suggesting different origins or purposes. All stations on alert. "Remember, defensive posture only," Rogers ordered, his voice calm despite the tension in the room. The largest ship in the alien fleet transmitted a request for communication on multiple frequencies. Earth's recently established First Contact Protocol was immediately activated. In a secured conference room below the command center, Rogers met with the newly appointed diplomatic team. They had been drilling for this scenario since Lily's encounter. "The translation software is as ready as it'll ever be," said Kate Murray, the team's language specialist. "But we're still working with educated guesses." Before Rogers could respond, a holographic projection appeared in the center of the table. A tall, willowy being with 4 arms and iridescent skin addressed them. "People of Earth, I am High Counselor Zerum of the Galactic Union. We come to formally acknowledge your species." The translation seemed to be working. Rogers stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome you and offer peaceful communication." Zerum's large, multifaceted eyes blinked slowly. "Your world has been under observation since our scouts' encounter with your explorer. We have completed our assessment." Something in Zerum's tone made Rogers uneasy. "Earth has been classified as a Class 13 world, the first in our records." Kate leaned forward. "What exactly does that classification mean?" The alien's skin shifted color slightly, showing what might have been discomfort. "Classes 1 through 10 represent standard habitable worlds. Class 11 and 12 are death worlds with extreme environmental hazards. Class 13. Zerum paused. "Class 13 was created specifically for Earth." "I don't understand," Rogers said. "Your planet is the only known world where apex predators evolved intelligence while maintaining predatory instincts. Your history of warfare, your biological drive for expansion, your adaptability in violent situations, these traits make your species uniquely dangerous." The room fell silent. Kate started to object, but Zerum continued. "A delegation will arrive tomorrow to begin formal assessment of containment options. The Union Council must determine if Earth requires quarantine measures." With that, the hologram disappeared, leaving the humans staring at each other in shock. "Get the president," Rogers said quietly, "and someone find Lily Winters. We need to know exactly what happened during that first contact. Earth had just learned its place in the galaxy, and that place was feared. The morning sky over Washington, D.C. darkened as the Galactic Union ships moved into position. 3 massive vessels hovered above the National Mall, casting long shadows over the monuments below. Crowds gathered despite government warnings to stay home. Commander Alan Rogers stood at attention on the makeshift landing pad that had been prepared on the White House lawn. Beside him, Kate Murray reviewed her notes one last time. "Remember," she whispered, "we need to appear non-threatening but not weak. The Union respects strength tempered by restraint." Rogers nodded, his eyes fixed on the smallest of the 3 ships as it descended. Unlike the others, this vessel glowed with a soft blue light. It touched down without a sound, its hull seeming to shimmer like water. A panel slid open, revealing a ramp. Down it came High Counselor Zerim, followed by representatives from 12 different species. Each alien looked more strange than the last to human eyes, some with multiple limbs, others with exoskeletons, one that seemed to float rather than walk. President Clark stepped forward first, as planned. "On behalf of Earth, welcome." Zerim bowed slightly. "The Union appreciates your cooperation in this assessment." The last alien to exit the ship stood taller than the rest. Its skin was dark red with black markings, and its 4 eyes never left Rogers. This, Rogers guessed, was the Vordax representative mentioned in their briefing files. The meeting moved to the East Room, which had been cleared of furniture. The alien seemed uncomfortable with chairs anyway. President Clark kept the opening remarks brief, then turned the floor over to Zerim. "We have reviewed the data from our scout ship," Zerim began. "Earth is unique among known worlds. Your oceans contain predators that hunt in coordinated packs. Your land has apex hunters with problem-solving abilities. And you, humans, evolved from prey animals that became hunters. You retain both fear responses and predatory instincts." Kate stepped forward. "Every species evolves according to its environment. Surely predatory traits alone don't justify quarantine." The Vordax representative made a harsh clicking sound. "It is not just your biology that concerns us. It is your history." A holographic display appeared in the center of the room, showing scenes of human warfare through the ages. "You split the atom, then immediately used it as a weapon," the Vordax continued. "You developed flight, then built bombers. Your first ventures into space were missile programs. Even your entertainment glorifies conflict." Kate frowned. "You're showing only one side of human history. What about our art, medicine, philosophy, and cooperation?" "Pretty decorations on a predator's den," the Vordax dismissed. Rogers noticed the other alien representatives shifting uncomfortably. There seemed to be disagreement among them. "Ambassador Krav," Zerim said sharply to the Vordax, "we agreed this would be an objective assessment." Krav's upper eyes blinked slowly. "The Union has never encountered a Class 13 species before. Standard protocols are insufficient. The Vordax Imperium recommends immediate containment with consideration for sterilization if necessary." The room erupted in shouts from the human side. President Clark demanded clarification of sterilization, while security personnel moved closer to the aliens. Kate stepped directly in front of Krav, showing no fear despite being half his size. "Under Union Charter Section 7, all species have the right to prove their civilization's value. We invoke that right now." Zerim looked surprised. "You know our laws." "We've been studying the data packet your scout ship left with Captain Winters," Kate explained. "We know our rights under Union law." The room fell quiet. Krav's skin darkened with what might have been anger. "Very well," Zerim finally said. "Earth will be placed under observation status while the Council deliberates. No quarantine measures will be implemented at this time." As the meeting adjourned, Rogers caught Krav watching Kate with all 4 eyes. His posture suggested something between respect and threat. "I think we just made an enemy," Rogers whispered to Kate. "Better an honest enemy than a false friend," she replied, watching as the alien delegation departed. At least now we know where we stand. Commander Rogers couldn't sleep. 3 weeks had passed since the Union delegation arrived, and something didn't add up. He paced his office at the newly formed Earth Defense Force headquarters, reviewing the data from orbital monitoring stations. "Computer, show me Vordax ship movements again," he said. The holographic display showed 7 Vordax vessels in Earth orbit. According to official reports, they were there for security purposes, but Rogers noticed they had been systematically mapping Earth's defense systems. A soft knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Kate Murray entered, looking as tired as he felt. "You need to see this," she said, placing a small data crystal on his desk. "I've been working with a Union archivist named Linar. He's Malarian, one of the older species in the Union. He thinks we're being set up." Rogers inserted the crystal into his computer. Files appeared showing centuries of Vordax expansion. 4 other worlds had been contained by the Vordax after being classified as threats. "This can't be coincidence," Rogers said. "It's not," Kate replied. "Linar found evidence that the Vordax manipulated our classification. They've been watching Earth for decades, adding false data to our file." "Why target us specifically?" Kate pointed to population growth charts. "The Vordax conquered these worlds because they had resources the Vordax needed. But us, they fear our potential. Humans adapt faster than any species they've encountered. Look at our technological growth curve." The display showed human technological advancement over the past century, a nearly vertical line compared to the gradual slopes of other species. "We need proof of tampering," Rogers said. "That's why I came. Linar wants to meet. He says he has access to the original scout ship logs, before the Vordax altered them." Halfway across the world, NASA scientist Frank Peters hunched over a workbench in a secure lab. Scattered around him were components from the damaged alien probe that Lily Winters had managed to recover during first contact. For weeks, he'd been reverse engineering the technology. "Try it now," he told his assistant. She pressed a button, and a small device on the table hummed to life. A bubble of distorted space formed above it. "It works," Frank exclaimed. "A miniature gravity manipulator. This could revolutionize everything from medicine to space travel." "Should we inform the Union representatives?" his assistant asked. Frank hesitated. "No, not yet." Commander Rogers was clear. "We keep our technological advances quiet for now." In orbit above Earth, Ambassador Krav stood on the bridge of his flagship. 3 more Vordax war vessels had just arrived through a jump point near Jupiter. "Position them here, here, and here," he ordered, marking points on the tactical display. "Remember, officially they are part of the observation fleet." His second-in-command looked concerned. "The Council only authorized a minimal presence. If the other species learn of our buildup—" "The other species are weak," Krav interrupted. "They've never encountered a truly dangerous civilization before. They don't understand what humans could become." "The humans seem peaceful enough," the officer ventured. Krav turned all 4 eyes on him. "So did the Nelvari, before they spread across 3 sectors. We contained them too late. I will not make that mistake with humans." Back on Earth, Rogers met Kate at a small cafe in Geneva, far from the official Union delegation headquarters. A slim, almost translucent alien sat in the corner booth. "Linar." "Thank you for coming," Linar whispered as they sat down. His voice sounded like rustling leaves. "What I'm about to share violates Union protocols, but the truth must be known." He slid a small device across the table. "This contains the original scout ship assessment. The Vordax altered the classification parameters, adding falsified data about human aggression levels." "Why are you helping us?" Rogers asked. Linar's large eyes blinked slowly. "Because my species was nearly destroyed by the Vordax 5 centuries ago. We were contained until we posed no threat. Now we are little more than servants." Kate took the device. "This could prove the Vordax conspiracy." "Be careful," Linar warned. "Ambassador Krav has agents everywhere, and more Vordax ships arrive daily, hidden from the Council's knowledge." Roger's communicator buzzed. A message from Frank Peters appeared. Technology breakthrough. Need to meet immediately. The pieces were falling into place, but time was running out. Kate Murray spent 3 days studying union law with Leonard. Her office walls were covered with holographic displays showing ancient legal texts and precedents. As Earth's diplomatic specialist, she needed to find a way to fight the Vordax within the rules of the Galactic Union. Here, Leonard said, pointing to a rarely used section of the Union Charter. The Classification Challenge Protocol. Any species can formally request a review of their status through demonstrations of cultural achievement and ethical advancement. Kate's eyes lit up. This could work. The Vordax can't block a formal challenge without revealing their bias. She immediately called Rogers, who arrived an hour later with Frank Peters. The scientist looked excited despite his exhaustion. "The gravity tech works," Frank announced. "We've built 3 prototypes, small scale, but they prove the concept. If the Vordax attack, we'll have defenses they don't expect." Rogers nodded with satisfaction before turning to Kate. "What have you found?" Kate explained the classification challenge. "It's our best option for a diplomatic solution. We need to prepare cultural exhibits, ethical demonstrations, and historical context." "How long will this process take?" Rogers asked. "That's the problem," Leonard said, his translucent skin pulsing with concern. "A full challenge takes time. The Vordax are positioning for action now." In orbit around Earth, Krav met with his commanders. A large display showed Earth's major cities, military bases, and power infrastructure. "Our intelligence suggests the humans are learning our technology too quickly," he told them. "The containment must begin soon, before they can develop effective countermeasures." His second-in-command looked troubled. "The Council hasn't authorized military action." "The Council moves too slowly," Krav replied. "By the time they decide, these humans could be a genuine threat. We will act first and explain later." On the Galactic Union's central hub world, High Counselor Zerim reviewed disturbing reports. The Vordax fleet around Earth had grown to 17 ships, far more than the authorized observation force. "Contact Ambassador Krav," he ordered his staff. "Remind him of protocol." A staff member approached nervously. "Counselor, the Union feed system is broadcasting concerning content about humans." Zerim turned to a nearby screen. Images of human warfare played across Union media channels. Atomic bombs, chemical weapons, genocide. The narration described humans as inherently violent and uncontrollable. "This is Vordax propaganda," Zerim realized. "They're preparing public opinion for aggressive action." A communication request flashed on his console. It was from Earth. Kate appeared on screen, composed despite the crisis. "High Counselor, Earth formally invokes the Classification Challenge Protocol under Charter Section 219. We request an immediate hearing." Zerim looked surprised. "Few species know of this ancient law." "We've been studying your legal system," Kate replied. "The protocol states that no containment actions can be taken during a formal challenge." The High Counselor nodded slowly. "Correct. I will inform Ambassador Krav that all military positioning must cease during the challenge period." After the call ended, Rogers turned to Kate. "Will this actually stop them?" "It buys us time," she answered. "The Vordax can't openly defy the Council without losing their standing in the Union." A new face joined their planning session. A Union anthropologist named Ilara who had spent weeks studying human culture. "I've been analyzing your art, literature, music, and social structures," she told them. "There's something the Vordax don't understand about humans." "What's that?" Frank asked. "Your predatory instincts that they fear. They've evolved. You hunt to protect, not just to kill. Your strongest stories aren't about conquest. They're about sacrifice and defending others." Rogers looked thoughtful. "Can you present this perspective at the challenge hearing?" Ilara nodded. "I would be honored. But the Vordax will fight back with everything they have. They truly believe you are dangerous. We are dangerous, Rogers said quietly, but only to those who threaten us. Zirum's image appeared again on the screen. Earth's challenge has been accepted. You have one standard galactic year to prove yourselves worthy of reclassification. As the connection ended, Rogers received an alert from Earth's orbital sensors. Despite the Council's orders, 3 more Vordax battle cruisers had just entered the solar system. 1 month after Earth's challenge was accepted, the Cultural Exchange Program began. 4 humans were selected to represent Earth at the Galactic Union capital. Olivia Martinez, a kindergarten teacher from Arizona; San Williams, a doctor from Kenya; Gary Peterson, a wheat farmer from Canada; and Patricia Johnson, an engineer from Australia. Their shuttle docked at the massive Union station that orbited the capital world. The 4 humans stared in wonder at the thousands of alien vessels and the swirling colors of the planet below. Remember, Olivia told the others as they prepared to disembark, we're not just visitors. We're Earth's first ambassadors to the wider galaxy. On the station, crowds of diverse alien species gathered to see the infamous predators from the Class 13 world. Some kept their distance, while others pressed close, curious despite their fear. A group of small, furry aliens approached Sam cautiously. One of them spoke through a translation device. Is it true humans eat the flesh of other animals? The alien asked. Sam smiled gently. Some of us do, yes, but we respect life in all its forms. I'm a doctor. I've dedicated my life to healing. Meanwhile, on Earth, Union observers arrived to study human society firsthand. Ilara led a team of 12 specialists from different Union species. They visited schools, hospitals, farms, and art museums. In a small concert hall in Vienna, Ilara sat mesmerized as a human orchestra played Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Tears formed in her large eyes. Are you okay? Rogers asked. He had been assigned as security for the observation team. Your music, she whispered. It contains such joy and sorrow together. How can a species capable of such beauty be as violent as the Vordax claim? At the Union capital, Kate Murray presented Earth's cultural achievements to the Council. Screens showed human art from cave paintings to modern digital works. Recordings played everything from tribal drums to classical symphonies to jazz. Humans create, Kate explained. We tell stories. We make music. We dance. We express our emotions through art because it connects us to each other. Several council members seemed moved, but Ambassador Krav remained stone-faced. Pretty distractions, he said when Kate finished. Now let me show the real humans. The screens filled with images of war, weapons, and violence. Many council members gasped. This is what humans truly are, Krav declared. They make weapons before they make art. They teach their children to fight. They glorify killing in their entertainment. Kate started to object when Sam Williams stepped forward. May I speak? He asked the council. High Counselor Zerum nodded. I am a doctor, Sam said simply. Yesterday, while touring your medical facilities, I noticed a young Fulari in distress. Your doctors were unsure how to help. I offered my assistance, and together we saved the child. He paused, looking directly at Krav. Yes, humans have fought wars. Yes, we can be violent, but our greatest achievements come from our desire to help others, not harm them. Back on Earth, Rogers received troubling news. His security team had intercepted Vordax agents attempting to plant explosives at a human cultural center where Ilara was scheduled to visit. They're trying to create an incident, Rogers told President Clark. Make it look like humans attacked Union observers. The Vordax are getting desperate, the president replied. Our approval ratings among Union species are rising. Ilara's reports have been overwhelmingly positive. In orbit, Frank Peters worked with a team of engineers to install gravity manipulation devices on Earth's defense satellites. The technology was still experimental, but it was their best hope if the Vordax attacked. How much longer? Rogers asked during their encrypted daily call. 2 more weeks to complete the network, Frank replied. But we need more time to test it. We may not have more time, Rogers said, looking at the latest orbital scans. The Vordax fleet had grown to 24 ships, all in attack formation. On the Union capital world, Kate was walking to her quarters when a shadow moved behind her. She turned just as a Vordax agent raised a weapon. Before it could fire, Ilara appeared from nowhere and tackled the assailant. Security forces quickly arrested the would-be assassin. Evidence found on him linked directly to Ambassador Krav. The assassination attempt backfired dramatically. News spread quickly through the Union. Public opinion shifted even more in Earth's favor. "They're running scared," Kate told Rogers over their secure channel. "But that makes them more dangerous than ever." Ambassador Krav stood before the Vordax High Command via secure transmission. His skin had darkened to a deep crimson, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. "The humans are gaining support," he reported. 7 council members now favor reclassification. "We cannot allow this to continue." The Vordax leader's 4 eyes narrowed. "Then we must act now, before formal reclassification can occur." "What of the Union laws?" asked another commander. "We will claim we discovered evidence of human weapon development. By the time the truth is known, Earth will be contained." In Earth orbit, Frank Peters completed the final calibration of the defense grid. 20 satellites now carried the reverse-engineered gravity manipulation technology. It was untested in combat, but it was all they had. "System online," Frank reported to Rogers. "Let's hope we never need to use it." Rogers nodded grimly. "The Vordax fleet has changed formation. Intelligence suggests they're preparing for action." President Clark called an emergency meeting with all world leaders. For once, nations set aside their differences in the face of a common threat. "We've received a warning from Linar," the president announced. The Vordax plan to attack within the next 48 hours, claiming they found evidence we're developing illegal weapons. "That's ridiculous," said the French president. "All our development has been defensive." "Truth is irrelevant to the Vordax," Rogers explained. "They'll attack, then justify it afterward." The Russian president leaned forward. "Then perhaps it's time to reveal our true capabilities." For months, while the diplomatic team worked openly, Earth's nations had secretly pooled their resources. Hidden facilities around the world had constructed small but powerful spacecraft, using the alien technology from Lily's encounter. "How many ships can we deploy?" asked President Clark. 12 combat-ready vessels, Rogers replied. "Not enough to win a direct confrontation, but enough to show we aren't helpless." At the Union capital, Kate received the warning about the impending attack. She immediately requested an emergency council session. "High Counselor Zerum, I have evidence that the Vordax plan to violate Union law by attacking Earth without authorization." Before Zerum could respond, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. A communications officer rushed in. "The Vordax fleet has opened fire on Earth's orbital stations." In space, the attack began without warning. 20 Vordax warships fired energy weapons at Earth's defensive satellites. The small human space fleet scrambled to respond, but they were outnumbered. "Evasive maneuvers," ordered Captain Lily Winters, now commanding Earth's lead vessel. "Don't engage directly. Remember the plan." The human ships appeared to retreat, drawing the Vordax deeper into Earth's orbital defense grid. "The humans run, as expected," Krav said from his command ship. "Press the attack. Disable their ground-based defenses next." The Vordax fleet moved forward confidently. Suddenly, Frank's satellites activated. Concentrated gravity fields appeared around the lead Vordax ships, distorting space and disrupting their propulsion systems. "Now," Lily ordered. Earth's ships turned and attacked the disoriented Vordax vessels. The gravity weapons didn't destroy the alien ships, but rendered them unable to maneuver properly. Krav watched in shock as 3 of his ships spun out of control. "What is this technology? How did they develop it so quickly?" The human fleet, though small, fought with unexpected effectiveness. They targeted engines, and weapons systems, disabling rather than destroying when possible. At the Union capital, the Council watched the battle through live feeds. Many were shocked by the Vordax's unprovoked attack. Others were surprised by the humans' restraint. "The humans are defending, not annihilating," observed one council member. "Despite their classification as predators, they're showing remarkable control." Krav's forces, despite their superior numbers, were unprepared for Earth's gravity weapons. After losing nearly half his fleet, Krav ordered a retreat. "This isn't over," he transmitted to Earth. "The Vordax Imperium will not allow a predator species to threaten galactic peace." As the Vordax ships limped away, celebrations erupted across Earth. But Rogers and President Clark knew this was just the beginning. "The Union Council will have to respond to this violation," Kate reported from the capital. "The Vordax have broken multiple laws with this attack." "Will it be enough to change our classification?" asked the president. "It's a start," Kate replied. "But the real fight is just beginning." The Galactic Union capital world buzzed with activity. News of the Vordax attack on Earth had spread throughout the galaxy. Many species that had feared humans now questioned the Vordax motives instead. In the Grand Council chamber, High Counselor Zerum called the emergency session to order. Representatives from all Union species filled the circular room. Kate Murray sat with the human delegation, her face showing determination despite her exhaustion. "The Vordax Imperium has formally requested a trial of civilization," Zerum announced. "This ancient ritual will determine if Earth may join our galactic community as equals or must remain under supervision." Ambassador Krav stood tall, his red skin gleaming under the chamber lights. "The attack was regrettable but necessary. We discovered humans developing weapons of mass destruction." "That's a lie," Kate responded, standing to face him. "Earth developed defensive technology only after learning of Vordax plans to attack us." Zerum raised his 4 hands for silence. "The trial will begin tomorrow. Both sides will present evidence of Earth's true nature." Back on Earth, Rogers coordinated with Frank Peters to gather all possible evidence of the Vordax conspiracy. Linner had provided access to classified files showing Vordax interference with Earth's assessment from the beginning. "We need more than just evidence against the Vordax," Rogers told his team. "We need to show who humans truly are." Sam Williams, who had returned from the Union capital, offered a suggestion. "During my time there, I treated aliens from 15 different species. Their medical records show my work. That proves humans can care for those unlike ourselves." In orbit, Lily Winters supervised repairs to Earth's damaged defense satellites. A Vordax prisoner had been recovered from a disabled ship. Though initially hostile, the Vordax soldier had been treated for serious injuries by human doctors. "Why save me?" the Vordax asked Lily during her inspection. "We would have let your wounded die." "That's the difference between us," Lily replied simply. The trial of civilization began with Krav presenting the case against Earth. Displays showed human warfare through the ages. He spoke of human aggression, territorial expansion, and predatory instincts. "These creatures cannot change their nature," Krav insisted. "Today they build defensive weapons. Tomorrow they will build fleets to conquer the galaxy." When Kate's turn came, she first presented evidence of the Vordax conspiracy: falsified reports, hidden fleet movements, and the assassination attempt against her. "But I'm not here to simply accuse the Vordax," she continued. "I'm here to show you humanity." The displays changed to show Earth's art, music, and literature. Then came scenes of disaster relief efforts, doctors working in war zones, and international cooperation. "Yes, we have fought wars," Kate acknowledged. "We have made terrible mistakes. But we learn. We grow. Our predatory past has evolved into a protective instinct." A murmur ran through the council chamber. Many members seemed moved by Kate's presentation, but others remained doubtful. Then Kate played her final card. A live transmission from Earth showed the recovered Vordax soldier being treated by Sam Williams. Despite being an enemy combatant, the alien was receiving the same care as human patients. "This is who we are," Kate said softly. "We protect, even those who would harm us." Ilara stepped forward next. The Union anthropologist had spent months studying human culture. "My comprehensive analysis shows that humans are not the mindless predators the Vordax described," she stated. "Their evolutionary path is unique. Predators who developed empathy and cooperation as survival strategies." Krav interrupted angrily. "These displays of kindness are tactical deceptions. The humans know we are watching." "We've been watching for centuries," Ilara countered, "long before humans knew about us. Their behavior is consistent." The debate continued for hours. Finally, Zerim called for a vote on Earth's classification status. The tension in the chamber was thick as council members registered their decisions. "The council has decided," Zerim announced finally. "Earth will be reclassified from Class 13 to Class 10, dangerous but civilized. All containment measures are to be lifted immediately." Krav's skin darkened to nearly black with rage. "The Vordax Imperium rejects this decision. If you welcome these predators into the galaxy, you invite your own destruction." He stormed from the chamber, followed by the entire Vordax delegation. As celebrations began, Kate received an urgent message from Rogers. "Vordax fleet mobilizing near their homeworld." This isn't over. 3 days after the Council's decision, alarms blared throughout the Union capital. A Vordax battle fleet had appeared in orbit without warning. Their weapons targeted the Council Tower, where representatives from all species were meeting. "This is Ambassador Krav," came the transmission. "The Vordax Imperium will not allow predators to corrupt the Galactic Union. Surrender the human delegation, or we will open fire." Panic spread through the capital. Most Union species had known peace for centuries and were unprepared for such aggression. High Counselor Zerim tried to negotiate. "Ambassador Krav, this action violates all Union laws. Stand down your weapons. Laws that welcome predators are laws that must be changed," Krav replied coldly. In orbit around the capital, Earth's small defensive fleet had been invited to join the Union security forces. Captain Lily Winters received the distress call and immediately ordered her ships to protect the Council Tower. "This is Captain Winters of Earth," she transmitted to all ships. "We are moving to defend the Council. Any vessels willing to join us, follow my lead." To her surprise, ships from 7 other species fell into formation behind her. Though outnumbered, they positioned themselves between the Vordax fleet and the capital. On the surface, Kate Murray helped evacuate the council members. "We need to reach the emergency bunkers," she told them. Rogers, who had arrived the previous day with additional evidence against the Vordax, joined her. "The Vordax planned this all along," he said grimly. "They never intended to accept the Council's authority if it didn't suit them." In space, the battle began. The Vordax vessels opened fire, targeting Earth ships first. Lily used the gravity manipulation technology to disrupt the Vordax firing solutions, creating a defensive screen that protected not just her fleet but the Allied vessels as well. "They're targeting our engines," Lily told her crew. "Remember your training. We don't need to win. We just need to hold them until reinforcements arrive." The human ships moved in unpredictable patterns that confused Vordax targeting systems. The Allied vessels, though less advanced, followed Lily's lead. What they lacked in technology, they made up for in determination. On Krav's flagship, frustration grew. "Why can't we hit them?" he demanded. "The humans are sharing their defensive tactics with the other ships," his officer explained. "And Union reinforcements are only minutes away." Krav's skin darkened with rage. "Target the Council Tower directly. If we cannot win, we will force a new order from the ashes." As Vordax weapons locked onto the capital below, Lily made a bold decision. She directed her ship straight at Krav's command vessel, activating the gravity manipulator at maximum power. "What are they doing?" Krav watched in disbelief as the human ship charged toward him. Suddenly, His vessel's systems failed as the gravity field disrupted all power connections. Union reinforcements arrived, surrounding the disabled Vordax flagship. The remaining Vordax vessels, seeing their leader captured, retreated from the system. In the aftermath, the Council reconvened in an emergency session. The evidence Rogers had brought was now supplemented by data recovered from Krav's ship. It revealed a decades-long Vordax plan to dominate the Union through manipulation and fear. The Vordax Empire will be placed under sanctions and observation, Ziram announced. And in light of Earth's actions to defend this council, at great risk to themselves, I propose a special resolution. The vote was unanimous. Earth would be granted full Union membership and a council seat of its own. 1 year later, Kate Murray stood on the observation deck of the first human colony ship beyond the solar system. As Earth's ambassador to the Union, she had helped negotiate settlement rights on a habitable world near the galactic core. Beside her stood Ilara and Rogers, watching as human and alien children played together in the ship's recreation area. Who would have thought, Rogers said, that being classified as dangerous would lead to this? Kate smiled. Perhaps what makes us dangerous also makes us special. We'll protect the Union with the same instincts the Vordax feared. Below them, a human child helped a small Fulari child who had fallen. The simple act of kindness, predator helping prey, symbolized everything they had fought for. Across the galaxy, thousands of species were re-examining old assumptions. Earth's deadly Class 13 status had indeed shaken the galactic order, not through destruction, but through transformation.